Season 8, Episode 13 of The Walking Dead, entitled Do Not Send Us Astray. Or as Chubb said, don't lend me your ashtray? I don't know. I'm your host, Craig DeMond. Join with me this evening, Mr. Richard Chubb Toad Sheldon.
What is going on? I call this the Walking Dead tantric episode. It builds and builds and builds and then nothing.
That's one way to put it.
So, the Blue Balls episode.
Mr. Russell Latham.
I am rapidly running out of runway to get caught up on Fear the Walking Dead, but I'm committed to.
Wait. So where'd you leave?
Episode 1?
Like episode 1? They were still in LA? That's when you left the show? Like, I'm done with this thing?
I keep saying I'm going to start watching it, and I have yet to start watching it.
It's a hard watch, man. You better you just close your blinds and turn your phone off. It's going to be a rough one.
I don't know why you're even doing it. You can probably just jump on the
You can jump on right now. He's right.
Not even worry about it.
Mr. Daryl Taylor.
Hello. They're probably more ashamed of their own first season than they would probably tell you not to watch them.
Yeah, start now where the crossover begins. Right. But he's a cool guy. His name's Strand. You like him. That's all I'm going to say. He's pretty cool. You like him.
You like him.
That's it. Mr. Jim Dietz.
Hey, you know what it is.
What is it?
What is it?
You know what it is.
Oh, what is it? That was crazy. I didn't understand
You
that.
know what it is.
Like,
And I know. Tell me. Every time you say that, I kept thinking black and yellow, black and yellow. That's what
I'm
he said.
saying, like, is it? I don't want to go to Fear the Walking Dead. Is that what it is?
You know what it is. If you don't sign this contract, you're done. That's it.
I don't want to go. That's what it is. God dang it.
I
You
know.
what it is.
Oh, that was terrible.
You know what it is.
All right, guys. So here we are. Do not send us to the ashtray, right? What did you call it, Joe? What was it? What did you write?
I don't know. I didn't have my glasses on. I was reading your post and I could have sworn it said, "Don't lend us an ashtray" or something like that.
That's funny you said that.
Well, I guess that's what it is.
All right. And then AMC, I don't know if you guys realize this, for those of you that watch it on like real television or at least plugged-in television nowadays, like cable or satellite, they kind of did a rickroll on everybody on everyone's DVR. So they if you look at the guide, it was a 2-hour and 3-minute episode.
Yeah, that was some BS right there.
Yeah, I knew about it. Remember you texted me throughout the day, Chubb, and I'm like, no, I think it was a terror. They were going to preview the terror the first hour of that new AMC show. And you're like, no, it shows on the TV guide. You sent me a picture. I'm like, oh my god. So I started believing it myself. I'm like, all right, this is got to be what it is. But apparently it wasn't. So
Did anybody else turn it off 5 minutes into the terror? Because I
It
had
didn't
no
trick me
interest.
because it didn't trick me because I watched it on the site the next day. So
it was no Master and Commander. Let's leave it with that.
Well, as soon as I saw that one character actor whose name fails me, but he's been in so many damn things.
Both of those guys were, right?
Well, I only saw it up to. I remember he was in that Outlander or whatever on Stars.
Oh yeah, he was on Game of Thrones. He was
He's been in Game of Thrones. I don't know why, but I just don't like that guy. And to see him on another show, I was just like, I shut it off.
Lord, whatever his name was, Lord John or something like that. Yeah, Sir John, or whatever they called him. Yeah, I don't know.
But that actor is very one note to me. So
yeah, I think it was great. But anyway, so they kind of snookered us a little bit. AMC pulled the first one. They made their DVRs across the world record, at least across the US, record that show whether you wanted to or not. I think that was a little
And now they can say the most watched new series of the spring. You know.
That's pretty good idea. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, right. So anyway, any initial thoughts on this episode, guys? Tantric.
Felt like high school.
You weren't satisfied. You didn't.
Felt like high school.
You like high school?
Like I didn't know how the night was going to end, so I thought it would end better than it did.
it sure began great.
Yeah, it started really good. It was like, whoa, I was loving it.
Sure did. Yep.
Yeah, when you could figure out what the hell was going on. Yeah.
It was dark again. Yeah, dark.
I mean,
stuff
overall,
again.
I really liked it, but there were just a couple things that just I think
I'm
they
sure
could
we'll
have.
hit all the points because I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're
time
thinking.
with
Right?
us, yeah.
There's one thing in particular that I think if that's what they wanted to go, they could have done it a very different way,
Right.
and it would have been just fine. And the way they did it is just one of those. It's just one of those I really Walking Dead moments where you're like, okay, here they are. They're going to treat us like we're stupid. That the watchers of the show can't handle. It's just like the dumbing down of the watching of the show, and that I don't know. I just don't understand when they do that. Like, how do you sit in the writers' room and go, okay, we're going to do this, and then everybody's like, yeah, man, yeah, that's
people. They're all yes
You
men.
know what
It's like,
bothers me is when they do interviews about it and they talk and they sound like they're so smart. Like that was like the greatest thing that they ever did.
Well, right. That's so funny you say that. Yeah.
And I go,
smug
what?
superior.
Yeah, they get so smug. Like I just know everybody loved it. I just know it. They just love what we did.
We're giving the fans what they want. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was so smart.
And you talk about a fall from grace. I mean, Scott Gimple, the writer of Clear, who really, really had so much promise, has turned this into a show this past couple seasons. It's fall from grace story.
Yeah, and I can tell this Gimple has his hands over this episode, and of course this whole season, because again, he gives you that little taste of action. He'll just give you a little taste. Because you go, the first 5 minutes, we'll give him the bullets. We'll spend some money. We'll give him the little action, and then they pull it back. They pull you back.
I mean,
they put the brakes on the story, like go from 100 to 0.
My man Rick was going in, like bam, bam.
Well,
They threw a gun again. You see him throw the AK again? He threw again.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That's a new move.
That's like one of my least favorite tropes in any movie. I couldn't believe Rick did that.
He did it twice.
Oh, that was
twice.
Yeah.
He throws it hard though. He takes like
He sure does.
Did anybody else notice the fact that the Hilltop hired the same security firm that watches out for the Arrow Cave and Arrow? Just people in and out, walk right in.
I will say it was a dark episode. Literally not dark like thematically, but literally dark. I missed a lot of details on the first watch because of the night
That's
session.
what I was going to say. I mean,
I had to watch it a couple times. Yeah.
I mean, I know the point was that they were trying to make it dark so they would draw them out into a big group or whatever. I mean, I get that, but there are ways around that to shoot it where it's A, less confusing, and B, we can actually still see what's going on, man. It's just that really bummed me out because I mean, this is a very climactic battle we've been looking forward to for a long time,
right?
And it would have been nice to be able to see what the hell was going on.
Yeah, there was no climax though.
The problem I have with it watching on the satellite, I don't know how it was like watching it through Amazon, but like with the satellite, it's the signal's so compressed that especially in dark scenes, it's just aliases and artifacts ridiculous. So it makes it even more difficult to see. So I was curious, like if you watched it, streamed it like on Amazon or through like a higher quality where it's less compression, if it actually looked any better.
I did the live streaming on AMC's website. I mean, I watched the live feed and it was dark. It was very dark.
And you watched it early, right? You watched it at 6 p.m. your time, right?
I watch it when it's on the East Coast. Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I watched it on the site, but I mean, I watched it on my phone, which is it's the newest iPhone, and I brighten the colors bright on the thing, and I have full bars. I have full bars in my streaming, so it wasn't like on my data. And I'm just like, what am I looking at? Like, I see sometimes like you see guns, you can see like sometimes the gun,
the muzzle flash, and the muzzle flash,
and sometimes you'll see like the boots or something. Like you can notice like the movement of the legs or whatever. And other than that, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
It wasn't easy to tell who was who. You know what I mean? Are these the Hilltoppers defending? Are those the guys running in? Where the hell are these guys? Are these? I mean, what's actually going on? And then like in the scenes where you do see things, it's like Okay, and then a minute later, boom, it's gone again. You know, but I watched it at 720p as well. You know, high def, good screen, and all my bars and streaming and everything. I still couldn't tell what the hell was going on. So
yeah,
maybe the Blu-ray will clear it up, everybody. If
well,
we get to that point.
And the thing is let the actors do their job. I mean, look at movies. I mean, one that just jumps out to me is Goonies. There's a lot of dark areas, like areas where the characters can't see and they're speaking and acting as they can't see, but it's still lit well enough to where us, the audience, can see what the hell's going on. We don't need such a sense of realism that we can't see either. You know, that's why we watch television.
I remember
Goonies in years, so I don't remember how it looked on the screen.
Going back to The Walking Dead, remember like on the farm at night when what's his name got killed? Shane, right? They had a moon, it was like a full moon, and they had this kind of glow. You could do that. Like that looks still like you feel like it's nighttime, but you have a little moonlight or something kind of.
That I saw, like,
you know, give me something.
Yeah, that was such a clear.
Right.
Screen.
Yeah, like why can't they do that at the nighttime scenes? They're going for this realism. I think like you're saying that's like all right.
It's almost like they want us to. It's almost like they want it to be that way so they can make it look like it's like chaotic or whatever. I don't know.
And here's the other thing.
There are ways. I'm sorry, Joe. There are ways to shoot it and make it feel chaotic without and still be able to follow the action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's feeling like they're going for that grindhouse effect.
Yeah,
those grindhouse movies.
That's a good way to describe it.
That's what it makes me feel like when I watch it. Like they're trying to get that kind of effect with the battles and stuff. And but it just doesn't come off sometimes because of them doing that dark thing where they just don't think about people watching it trying to figure out, because you're doing action sometimes, like you can't just go by dialogue. It's like there's scenes of just, you know, people doing things, and then but they're important to the plot for us to understand later on in another episode. So we should be able to see this stuff.
There are times where it's okay though. Like last week when Rick and Negan were chasing each other in the bowels of that building or whatever, it was dark.
That was so bad.
Well, the reason why is because we were seeing it through their eyes. We were seeing the walkers jump out and everything else. That it actually fit. This is we're looking at what's going on from the outside in. Light it to where we can see what's going on and let the actors do their job and act like it's dark.
Yeah,
that's like I'm looking at it again. Like I have it running just in the background
right now.
Like there's scenes where you see Rosita shooting, and it looks like she has no body. You just see a little hat
and the muzzle flash.
And the muzzle flash.
If it wasn't for the hat, you wouldn't know who the hell it was.
I wouldn't have known it was her. It was for that. Like what were they doing that for?
And we're not watching Rosita for her hat. Let's be honest.
Not touching that one. Not gonna do it.
Stay woke, Raphael.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
I love how woke it is here.
It's definitely woke. All right, let's jump into it. So it was directed by Jeffrey F. January, written by Angela Kang and Matthew Nigoretti. The synopsis is written by Brandon Davis of comicbook.com. We'll see where that takes us tonight. She's one or two errors, but that kind of makes it fun, right? So the episode begins with Morgan Jones standing in the woods. Behind him, he sees the ghost of Gavin, who speaks to him and claims, like Jim said, "You know what it is."
What is it?
Actually, I miss Gavin. He was pretty cool. Kind of sad that he got off. He was a pretty good actor, but that's what it is. And
I could have done without the ghost of Gavin.
Yeah.
It made no sense, huh?
You know what it is. I'm sorry.
You got me for like waiting for you to answer it. I'm like, oh, I get it now. Okay, yeah. You know what it is.
You know why? Because we all want to know what the hell it is. What is it? Like, what is
okay, what do you guys think it is?
It's the ghost of Gavin Marley.
You know what it is.
No, but warn him that he's going to be visited by 3 ghosts of Christmas future and past and whatnot.
Russ, I really can't tell you. I don't know. I really don't know what he's trying to. What that is supposed to signify with Morgan.
It means his contract is up. You know what it is. Your contract is up. You're going to fear, baby, whether you want to or not. You know what it is.
Is it about killing? Is it about falling back into that mode of killing? Is that what he's talking
It's
about?
got to be about. I mean, it's got to be about Henry, right?
That's what I thought.
But what about Henry? Though?
Exactly, though. He didn't really delineate what about Henry. You know.
He tried to appease her, Carol, with him by saying the guy that did it is dead. Like, what else do you want him to do? Like, I don't understand what else they want him to do.
I read a comment from somebody this morning that was saying that Gimple's basically just trying to get Morgan back to the clear Morgan before they let him go on to Fear the Walking Dead, which sounds ridiculous, but it wouldn't surprise me. They want to just have him go crazy.
Yeah, well
you know what? I did notice that in the darkness, I think part of them with the playing with the darkness is I think they're trying to make the saviors look like they're more of them than they are. Because number-wise, the way they keep it so dark and they bunch them up together, it really looks like it's like 100 of them. The way they have them out, and then when the light, it really looks like it's more. So I wonder if that's what it is. Like they want you to they want it to look more menacing that there's more saviors.
I mean, the last episode we pretty much saw all of them in one area, right? And that when they're waiting for them to come back, we're waiting for someone else. So you kind of knew there's about 20 of them maybe. And
when it looks more menacing in the dark,
right?
When it's that group together than it is when it's in the sunshine. When it's in the light, it doesn't look as menacing.
So Morgan tries to attack the ghost, which I thought was pretty cool. Like when Rick used to see Ghost Laurie, he didn't really know what to do. He just stand there and make faces and start sweating. Yeah. Like Morgan actually went up to him and tried to basically kill him with a stick. Like, that was pretty. I'm like, all right, you go, Morgan, but no one was there, obviously. He huddles against a tree until a horn sounds, prompting him to sound a horn, which continues the relay of horns, car horns that is, back to the hilltop as a warning message. Although, what is it? Daryl's got like an old air horn because there's no horn in his bike, obviously. As a warning message, Jerry hears it and tells Tobin and others it's on. Inside, Ezekiel, Carol, and others prep for battle. Henry wants to join the fight, but Ezekiel orders him to defend the house.
I can fight.
And once again, Carol is saying, no, if you go out there, you're going to die. You got to stay inside. Listen to me.
I can help you. I can fight.
Look, kid, stay inside or I'll kill you myself.
That kid needs to look at the flowers.
Give me a gun and I can fight. I know it. Just give me a gun.
Who killed my brother? Who did it?
Who killed my brother? I'm going to start shooting. I'm going to count to 100 and I'm going to start shooting everybody. Tell me who killed my brother.
That's pretty good, actually. It's not bad.
Oh, God.
Wait, but also, who just left the key to the pen just lying around so a 10-year-old could get it?
See, that bothered me too. Like, all right, you got the gun. They still got the gun, but not the, not the key.
The 10-year-old that you know is going to go and do something stupid. Like, how many times has this happened where the character is going to, that the character is obsessed with something and it's in their grasp and you make it easy for them to get to the thing they want.
This is Coral 2.0, right? This is his.
Yes.
This is Carl under 18, so he's got a cheaper contract.
This is Carl. This is whatchamacallit.
Carl Reborn.
From last week when you put the person whose girlfriend the guy kills, you let her go with him alone. Like stuff like that just really drives me nuts. Like why would you do that? Like why would you do stuff like that?
So finally, the kid stays in the house. Whatever. In the infirmary, a woman named Dana, which I don't remember her at all.
Me neither.
Okay, I'm sure we've seen her maybe in glimpses. I just don't remember this character at all, or she didn't have any lines. She organizes supplies with Sadiq, and she's kind of not friendly with him, and bosses him around, and questions his medical knowledge or how much experience he has. And I know she's really pretty rough with this guy. I don't know what her problem is, but
compelling enough to where I was like, this might be a cool character to have. Nope.
Yeah.
She says people who don't know enough are more dangerous than people who don't know crap. She tells him. He argues for himself and insists he's ready to help. Okay. And he's like, oh, this is where he gets speechifying. He goes, stop asking me what I've done, and start telling me what to do. Besides telling me where to put damn blankets.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're trying to get, so he can speechify, because he'll probably be like this great doctor. Always, they're probably leading up to that. It'll be great.
Exactly. He's gonna redeem himself. Right? Mm-hmm. So night falls, and Jerry sees the Savior's convoy approaching, and he gives this little crazy signal to like Maggie, like waving his hand back and forth, like it's on. That's it. And we see the credits. That's it. So the convoy, this is where a second watch helped, because it looks like they just parked, but if you watch it closely, the Hilltoppers put out spike strips on the outside. I totally missed that on the first watch, and I guess so did Brandon Davis, because he says the convoy just parks outside the Hilltop. No, they were stopped by the spike strips, and even Simon says to her, right. Yeah,
I missed that completely.
Exactly, it was so dark.
Off the ground and move them out of the way.
Right, because Simon tells her,
move the offending things out of
I want to talk to my chums later. We're gonna work. Yeah, but again, it's hard to catch that when it's so pitch black.
Yeah.
Simon notices she barricaded in order to Saviors to move the blockade. Again, there were spike strips. Maggie radios to him, and Simon informs her that Negan. Okay, so I love how Maggie does this. She goes, "I want to talk to Negan." That's pretty cool. And Simon's like, "Well, I'm Negan, but my birth certificate actually says Simon. Who do I have the displeasure of talking to, or something like that?"
I'm the widow.
Yeah, that's right. Maggie Ree, I'm the widow. You're right. That's pretty good. And Simon goes on to say that they received her care package, and he gave it to Negan, and he goes, "Well, the bills come due, and you and your people are going to now have to pay." And he says, "Quite dearly, I'm afraid."
Yeah.
This is where Maggie then says on the radio, she will then execute the 38 Savior prisoners if she does not leave, if they do not leave. And then she gives the radio to Alden, one of the captured Saviors. One that's kind of turning over, it seems like. Alden
He's one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones. So Alden speaks to the microphone and asks Simon not to spend this night dying. He says, "Hey, it's not a good night to die. Let's, maybe we can walk out of this thing." But Simon's not buying it. He goes, "The Saviors you're in possession of, they're damaged goods. They got captured. They're in a pickle. They're on their own. Screw them," he basically says. So Gregory's not standing there, and he questions Maggie's decision, but she says it will ultimately work. Pretty cool scene. I thought it was pretty interesting. I like the radio.
I don't know why Gregory was allowed to say anything. I don't even know why he was even there.
They had to give a couple lines, right?
Yeah.
Simon tells the Saviors to get the party started. Our goal is not merely infection, he says. It is conclusion, Simon tells everyone. And then Dwight kind of settles over and says, "Hey, this isn't what he'd want. You know that, right? He can still be out there. You sure you don't want to face him when he sees what you did here?" And Simon says, better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission, D. Simon tells him, "Future problems, dude." Suddenly, Daryl races up on his bike with a machine gun out of nowhere and guns down several Saviors. And this is another part, too. Like, people couldn't see who got killed and who didn't. They lost people. They definitely lost people. But you don't know how many. Right. The gate opens. They follow him in. Suddenly, a pickup truck is loaded with Saviors. Maggie orders everyone to open fire. And then the school bus kind of comes in and stops them from entering fully with their trucks. The Saviors finally start firing back, striking several people with mucked up arrows. Alden pleads with Maggie to allow him to help defend this place. Maggie looks around for Negan, doesn't seem to see him. Carl and Ezekiel. This is Carl. It's gotta be Carol, right? Carol and Ezekiel lay down fire on the ground. Carl's dead. Tobin suddenly gets sliced by a knife and lays on the ground bleeding. I guess he was attacked by one of the Saviors there. It was kind of hard to see what happened, but he got rushed. Carol rushes to him and he goes, "Hey, long time no see." And this is the most.
I didn't even realize that was Tobin
because he had the beard. He kind of had the beard
Yeah,
on,
I didn't
right?
either.
Yeah.
I texted Craig. We were watching at the same time. I'm like, "Who the hell is that guy?" And it was like Tobin. I'm like, "Oh."
I forgot about him. Another one of her suitors.
Now I knew Tobin was gone, not because of the stabbing. I thought that was 50-50, right? But the amount of lines he had this episode, he never had more than like 3 or 4 lines in the entire episode, right? They gave him pages on this one. I'm like, oh man, Tobin.
Mostly he would say something to Carol or ask her, and she'd just say no, and that'd be the end of his line.
That's right. Yeah. You go to the barbecue tonight? No. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here's the text exchange with Craig. I said, "I don't remember any of him." He says, "That's Tobin, baby." I said, "Oh, must have been all the drugs I did in the '60s. Memory is fading."
Or that night.
Or
that night. Yeah.
Craig's response: "He's got to be gone or too many lines this episode."
That's right. I knew it. As soon as I heard what was going on, I said, "He's done.
Yeah,
He's done."
go. Yeah. You start talking about the future, he's gone. That's when you are gone. That's it.
I've always been pro Tobin, by the way. I mean, we joke about him, but I think he was pretty cool. He was all right guy. I never had a problem
I
with
had
Tobin.
problems with Tobin.
Yeah,
You know,
you seem like you could be a sitcom and Carol yelling at him all the time.
Yeah. He's a big dude, and actually, he made a really good walker. Like, he was attacking those people. He really was like,
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he was big. He was jumping on the people and biting them up. He must have killed 3 or 4 people at least.
The one thing this did remind me of is how dangerous this virus or whatever it is, because it's not just you. Not only do you have to worry about walkers, but you have to, somebody. Not only do you have to kill them, but you have to kill them twice.
Well, and apparently too, when you infect them with weapons instead of being bitten, it creates a breed of ninja walkers because nobody can hear them coming.
Even if they're going down the stairs.
Well, before that, all right, I'm sure we'll get to all this in a few seconds, but I'll just be quiet. We'll get to it. Tobin suddenly gets sliced by a knife and he's leaning on the ground. Long time no see, he says to her while bleeding. Simon orders Dwight to follow him in his attack. Sadiq orders Carol back into the fight and comes over to help Tobin. So it's kind of melee right now. We're seeing different scenes of the fight happening. Simon and Dwight sneak up on Tara, and this is a pretty cool shot. Daryl actually sees them and he sees Dwight. So he's looking at Dwight kind of across the field. He sees her sneaking up on him, and Dwight shoots him with that.
Why wouldn't he shoot? It was a tent.
Yeah,
I know,
it was a fabric tent.
Yeah.
Why not just shoot him?
Well, then that guy snuck up on him. Did you see that when he screamed
before
out?
That. But it was before that.
Okay.
He watched them
because it was dark, Russ. It was too dark.
Too dark.
He did have a shot though.
So anyway, Dwight shot an arrow at Tara to prevent her, I guess to make her go down so she didn't get shot with. Well, we're assuming his weapon wasn't infected, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I don't think he did that to save her. So I doubt he could shoot her with a tainted arrow.
Exactly. So I think she's okay, but we don't know.
I went back and watched it again, just that part, because I was like, okay, can you tell? Because I thought at one point he put the arrow. I thought I saw the arrow tip and it was clean, but it wasn't. After watching it again, I mean, my assumption is like you guys that the arrow was clean because he wouldn't have shot her if it wasn't.
Exactly.
But what I thought I saw on the second viewing was the thin part of the arrow, the part sticking out of Tara was what I got confused with. But
okay. But the arrowhead, the actual.
Yeah, you could tell. Like I said, I went through and watched the whole thing again, and it was not clear. I mean, obviously Simon had the bloody hatchet,
right?
But yeah, you could tell on Dwight.
So she went down, and then we see what's his name? Daryl screams, and some guy comes up, and Daryl takes him down. And Daryl's kind of in kind of ninja mode too this episode. I mean, he killed like 6 of them outside the gates, and he's running up on the motorcycle. He's doing some damage definitely. But
that was something that kind of bothered me about the plan too. I mean, they're all fortified. They got this good fence, all, and the gate and everything blocked. And I just don't understand why they would open it to let Daryl get through, and then allow like all the Saviors through in that same hole. You know what I mean?
It was to lure them in, wasn't it? To lure them in, and then they closed the trap with the bus.
Yeah, the one. My reasoning behind it was control the chaos, right? Like you know, if they're sitting outside the gate, they're going to scheme and find a way in. Maybe they regroup, maybe they reinforce, maybe they tunnel under, maybe they blow the thing up, maybe they flank and attack from 2 sides. Like I think it's unpredictable. If you open the gate and then you put the bus in front and you force them to be funneled through that entrance, you know theoretically you pick them off doing that way.
Tactics,
So that of all the things in the episode, that didn't bother me at all, because at first, Jim, I kind of thought like you did. I'm like, well, that's dumb, and then
cool seeing him shoot up people though on a bike, right? It's just pretty badass, right? Seeing him do that, but I mean, besides that value of it,
as it went on, I was like, okay, maybe this does make sense. It's like you control the manner in which they come through and when they come through, as opposed to letting them get the upper hand on you.
Right. Okay,
that was the same thing though too. I agree with you. It was tactical. It was a tactical maneuver to lead them in, to lure them in when they wanted to get them in. There was a phase 2 to the battle where she breaks the light bulb and that's a signal, and then they all fall back, and then we'll see in a few seconds. But there was layers to this. There was tactics to this.
That was something else I want to ask about when we get to it. I know we're like a few scenes from there, but
okay.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Simon Dwight sneak up on Tara. Got that. Michonne rushes over to Daryl to indicate everyone needs to retreat because Tara. I mean, one of the light bulbs busted on the house. Like that was a signal when she busted that bulb. I didn't catch it on the first watch. I had to watch it on the second watch, and that was a signal that okay, we're going to phase 2 now.
I was trying to figure out what they meant by she signal. I'm like, what was the signal?
She busted out a light. Yeah, you actually saw it. She shoots it out or hits it with a bat or something. The light gets broken, and that's the signal. Which I thought was pretty cool.
No, I remember that now, but I just don't remember it being discussed beforehand that was the signal. So
no, they didn't talk about it.
No, they didn't mention that.
Just watching it happen. So Michonne rushes over and tells them they have to go. The lights all go down. Sounds falls on the hilltop, and they actually shut out. They shut out all the headlights of the cars that were nearby. So there's no lights. Everything's totally dark right now. Simon emerges, quietly leading the group. He splits off his group, saying, okay, if you guys go over to the trailers, you come over here, and we go in the house and do some proper slaughtering.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay, this is it. I'm sorry, Daryl. I gotta stop right here. Okay? This is the point I was talking about. All of their forces are standing there in a big-ass clump in their trap.
Right by the bus there,
Right, and the bus is there. They're all just standing there. Just kind of standing there looking around. Like for 5 minutes. And then Simon's like, okay, you go over here, and they break off. Why didn't they just mow them down when they're all in one big clump? They could have taken them all out right there.
You're right.
It's like shoot already, shoot.
This is where they need that grenade launcher.
But I'm also looking at that part again with Daryl. He's looking at Dwight and walking towards Simon and Dwight walking towards Tara. He's staring. Like he could have just shot right into the area.
Well, it looked like it was kind of far. There was some distance there, but it wasn't too far for Daryl, though. Yeah.
But
think about it. On the show, how many times have you seen them, with a 38 revolver from like 3,000 yards, hit a walker in the head?
Eyeball shot. Yeah.
But he's got a automatic machine gun, and he can't shoot these guys 50 feet away. I mean, or if nothing else, it would have forced them to duck and cover, right? Like they wouldn't have gone after Tara, or he could have shot and said Tara. It almost had a feeling to me like he purposely didn't like. Kind of like with Dwight and the Governor Dwight and Negan last episode, where he saw Rick coming down in the car and then just didn't say anything. I didn't know if maybe he was trying to give. Like, let's see what Dwight does. Let's see if he shoots Simon.
Maybe that's you know what? Maybe that's kind of thinking about it and saying it. Maybe that's the deal. Like, because he did keep staring at Dwight. Like he did. They tried to make it. He did have some kind of expression on his face when he was looking at Dwight to see if he was going to. I guess you know what? I think he thinks if Dwight was on our side, he should have just killed Simon right there.
Yep.
That's what I thought was about to happen.
Yeah, I did too.
Because he was right in front of him. He could have did it if he, like he really.
I see what you're saying. And that's why he says at the end. Is that what you're saying?
And I think that's why when Daryl really goes gung ho with what he does, I think we're supposed to see that he thinks from the looking in. It doesn't look like he's on our side if you let Simon do what he was going to do. Not knowing about the arrows and probably not having that, probably hitting her with that arrow probably saved her life because Simon was going to slice her.
But it would have been super easy. It would have been super easy for him to take out Simon in that castle.
You are so right. You are so right. But they're not ready for Simon to go yet. So
they could have solved that by having just one more person with them. Like they could have a couple more people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Well, and then they couldn't. You have to turn on 3 people then as opposed to just one.
Right.
All right. Well, suddenly
the whole grouping, like. Knowing that they were okay, so they get funneled into the courtyard, right? And so obviously, when they get fired upon, Simon had to know, okay, we just got suckered, right? So then everything goes mysteriously quiet. Like you wouldn't, like to Jim's point, that's the part that didn't make sense to me. It's like, Simon, why are you just you just got snookered once, so in response to that, you're just going to go out in the open and expose yourselves completely?
Yeah,
let's all stand here for a minute, look around while I whistle.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it didn't make sense. And also, they should have just had Dwight in front of Simon. And that would have been like, of course, he couldn't turn on Simon.
Back,
right. And he should, and then he shoots the arrow because he knows that Simon's going to do the
right.
the
So
knife.
a little bit of blocking to fix this. Yeah, better blocking to fix this. Yeah, that's true. Well, suddenly a row of headlights. Well, listen, the writers know better though, right, guys? Listen, we wrote it a certain way, dude. Right? It's the way it's got to be. It's maximum drama. We know. Yeah, we know. Suddenly a row of headlights come on, and the Barrington house unloads fire onto the Saviors. Simon curses. He knows he gets screwed right here again. His whole group flees. Rick finally comes out of nowhere, which I thought was pretty cool. And that was actually awesome. I started clapping. I was like, all right, let's go.
I actually thought that was a cool tactic. I mean, because it's funny. The whole thing so they shot out the headlights that were pointed towards the house.
Correct. There's no lights. I
was like, well, why don't they just turn on a bunch of floodlights and then they'll blind them and then it's like I can see you, but you can't see me.
That's what they did.
Right.
And then when they actually did it, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, it's dumb that Simon and his crew are standing out in the open like that, but it was a cool tactic to just like make everything dark and then boom, we're gonna hit the lights and
it was also. Oh, go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but wasn't that like straight out of the comic? Wasn't there a scene in the comic like that? I don't know if it was Hilltop, but the whole with the lights and everything.
I don't remember.
All I know is as stupid as that was, it was doubly stupid for them not to take advantage of them all standing together in a big clump.
Exactly.
To be real, Hilltop should have ended this war right here. To be real, this fight was over.
It was kind of stalemate though. If you look at the number of bodies, it seemed like it was even killed about the same number of people on both sides. Like it wasn't.
I know, but if they had just laid into them in that circle when they were just standing there trying to figure out what.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
they could have just took them out. Yeah,
that's what I thought was going to happen too. I'm like, oh, this is great. They're going to slaughter them all.
Nope, not yet. We got 2 more episodes to go for that. We'll see. Rick enters from another angle and opens fire. This is a big smile on my face. He's firing his AK-47. Saviors are fleeing. Rick almost kills Sadiq, but the orders him to stay down. He sees who he is and says, "Stay down."
Is this the scene where he throws the gun away like he's not at it?
Close. He's not at the bullets yet. When he runs at the bullets, that's when he throws the gun. Okay, yeah, he does throw it. Morgan clears out other areas, sees Gavin again, who continues to tell him, "You know what it is." Oh, Jim should say it. Jim, what does he say?
You know what it is. You know what it is.
He got loud towards the end. He started getting loud.
Yeah. And he had to do that little comic thing. He had to go into that Jedi trance he does when he doesn't want to lose his mind.
He starts shaking his head a little bit.
He just hustles. He does a deep breath.
Yeah.
All right. I'm working again. I can do this.
I love it. Maggie and Rick run out of the Hilltop's gate to continue firing at the Saviors. They get away, and she goes, I wanted them dead. Maggie says, all of them. Negan most of all. Rick tells Maggie, I tried to kill Negan. I almost got him. I didn't get him. I tried.
I tried. I wish Maggie had the joke she'd answer the back in the same voice as him. That deep voice, like, you should have got him, Rick.
I branched off. I saw him driving there. I pulled up. I tried to kill him. I couldn't do it.
I want him dead, Rick.
She says, thanks. I have to expect her to say, for nothing.
For nothing.
He's like, I tried. She goes, thanks.
For nothing.
For nothing.
So anyway, it was a great, control chaos, like you guys said. I think it was a great fighting scene. Although the darkness of it, the music was upbeat. Like they had a lot of pace going. It was a very fast paced battle, and I loved it.
Oh, it's a quick battle.
I'm thinking the whole episode's gonna be like this, but no. So
Not so much.
Yeah. So the next day, walkers are piled up against Hilltop's walls. Tara and Daryl discuss Dwight shooting her, and she even says, "I was with the governor." Tara tells Daryl, and Daryl references his brother. Someone wrote in this conversation too. I don't know how that happened.
Well, she mentioned.
But she doesn't know who Merle was though. But I don't know how she knew who Merle was.
Well, I mean, you could assume they had.
No, she was with the governor.
She was with the
It was after Merle was dead. She was with him after he had the beard, man. It was bearded governor she was with.
Oh.
Right.
So I mean, how does she know who Merle is?
Well, because they were traveling all together after that.
They swap stories. Okay.
There's not exactly, they can't, stop off for a matinee somewhere, so they're probably telling stories, and I'm sure it came up.
So you're the story of a man named Merle.
He cut off his hand.
And his smell would make you hurl.
I went Jim with like a banjo playing. He's like playing a little banjo. He's doing the whole song.
Let me tell you a little story about a man named Merle.
That would be awesome.
I thought it was cool. It was cool that she shouted that she did mention that she was with the governor. Because we all said that last.
We all said last week. Like, I don't think the writers we have to address this because she's getting a little too crazy. I wonder if they actually went in and threw that line in for a certain reason. I don't know.
It just proves that the writers listen to our show.
That's right.
I heard us talk about like, oh, hey, those guys on the podcast said something about it. They better put that in the next episode.
They must have a time machine because they must have fast forwarded 6 months and then went back, right? That's pretty cool.
But she's talking with sense, which
that's not a good sign either, right?
That's not a good sign. Because she's like, it's my fault. I shouldn't like all that stuff we were saying in that episode. It's my fault. I shouldn't have went after him. With the wrong time to do that. Pushed him right into the arms of the Saviors again. And Daryl's like, no,
that's it. No, you're wrong. No.
He killed your girl. He killed your girl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's done with Daryl. He's done enough.
Yeah. Dwight's gonna get. I don't know if Dwight gonna make it. Like Daryl might. Even if Dwight saves somebody, I could see Daryl killing him just out of reflex. Anyway, just doing it anyway.
Well, no, Dwight will save his life. And
that'll happen. Okay. Yeah. Inside, Rick removes barricades from Hilltop's windows, which I understand. They spent a lot of time putting those up to protect the house.
Well, he don't have power anymore.
Yeah, it gets a little stuffy up here.
Kids gonna get hot. Gotta open the window.
Michelle's trying to be. She's trying to talk to him.
Michelle's like, I brought you a turnip.
Yeah, I brought you a turnip, baby.
Yeah,
it's your favorite.
You can stick that turnip where the sun don't shine.
All I know, Michelle, bring me a turnip. Listen, I'm gonna talk to Michelle. I'm not gonna be like that.
Yeah, he was a little cold there, man.
I'll be like, yeah, baby, thank you for that turnip, baby.
Put that hat
I'll do an Aaron. You mean Black Panther's Night Guerrero?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, thank you for channeling Aaron. I appreciate that.
Well, you ain't got the purple group. I want the purple group.
So that's it. So they had a scene where they're just taking off planks off a window. It was really the whole scene. It was very strange.
It was just a scene to show that Ricky's still mad.
Well, he's not mad at her though. I think they were okay.
No.
What's his problem?
He just said, I gotta kill Negan mode. That's all.
He's getting pissy again. I got you.
Yeah, he's in that mode. Like,
gotta get Negan.
Before the letters come out, before Carl's letters come back into his life, he's gotta be extra angry before the finale. Because you know it's coming. Because you know the letters are coming back.
Outside, Jerry digs graves with Cal. Bodies have been piled up into a pickup truck. Maggie approaches and cuts Alden's hands free. Says she'll let them bury the Saviors outside. But he insists they aren't his people. But he's glad to see them that way. So anyway, this is where we kind of noticed. Because one of the listeners said you couldn't see who got killed. You can kind of count the corpses almost on the pickup truck. So it was about maybe like 10 people each seemed to get killed on each side. It seemed like.
No, there's more than that. Like,
yeah,
because when I went and rewatched it, Rick alone killed almost 10 people just himself. I mean, he gunned down 3, then he
hatcheted a bunch of them, right? Yeah.
He hatcheted 3, and then there was he shot a couple others, and that wasn't even all the ones that Daryl shot, and some of the others. Yeah, I mean, there's probably at least a couple dozen that they killed.
So you think the Hilltop won being counted as far as body count's concerned?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it was
well until later. I
was gonna say at this point in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. They won the battle. They didn't win the war. Let's see. Diana of the Kingdom tells Maggie she's a good leader. And she said, I knew it before, but last night you saved the gates, you saved the community, you saved lives. And Maggie says, I sent Negan a body in a box to make him mad, to lure him here because I wanted my husband's grave to be the last thing that he saw, even if it came at a cost. I don't know if that makes me a good leader, she says. I do know the only regret I have is that Negan is not in that pile of bodies. We see a little bit of Maggie's motivation. It's not just protecting Hilltop. She's definitely nursing a big vengeance, vendetta.
She's in the mode.
She's in the mode, yeah.
The Rick mode. She's in the Rick mode, too. Like, I want him dead.
You're not going to kill him? All right, leave the show.
Right.
I want him dead. I want his house burned to the ground.
Okay, no? All right, ABC, screw you all.
That's right.
In the infirmary, Carol sits with Tobin. Again, this is where he's got some more lines. She apologizes for how she left Alexandria. And they kind of go on and on. And basically, she admits that she was starting to catch some feelings for him. I think it scared her a little bit. And that's why she left,
she was catching feelings.
She was catching some feelings. That's why, she was I was pretending that after a while I wasn't pretending, and it scared me, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so she had to go. I was trying to save a life, Carol tells him. But when the Saviors weren't eliminated, she couldn't. I felt like maybe I wasn't going to pretend again, maybe. Let's see here. Tobin insists the end of the fight is what we're fighting for. Again, he's trying to tell her, look, what's going to happen afterwards? And she's like, what do you mean afterwards? We're always going to have to fight. He goes, no, we're fighting so there's the end of the fight, so there's some peace. And he's trying to give some wisdom to her. But that's the end of Tobin, I'm pretty sure. That was
that
was the most.
Because she goes off, it trails off when she says, we fight for another day, for another night.
Exactly.
And that's it. It's such ooh, it'd be cool to do that. Like, have her say another night.
I think it's
foreshadowing.
She says, I think I might just accept that some of us are lucky enough to just live, and some of us are lucky enough to just fight. Yeah.
Which you already got. Like, it's her living through this thing and him dying.
So across the pile of dead Saviors, Jesus keeps an eye on the prisoners, but Henry comes across a gun. Ooh. So Henry picks up one of the rifles. On the Barrington House's steps, Sadiq offers to treat Rick's wounds, and he kind of comes over and wants to do like a little prayer session with Rick. But Rick didn't want to hear it. This was very weird. It was a very odd little scene. Like, wait a second. So Sadiq's going to treat his wound. Then he starts going into some prayer that he heard when he was a little boy, and he says, do not send us astray after that. Sadiq tells him. Rick's like, forget it. Stop it.
He's like, what? I don't need an ashtray.
Yeah. I don't smoke.
Where's Negan?
Where's? Come on, you love it though. Inside Hilltop Survivors thank Maggie for her work. She watches everyone pile onto each other and sleep. Pile onto each other, okay, and sleep on the floor inside. So they're all kind of in the house sleeping on the floor and just trying to get a few winks.
Okay, stop right there.
Yes.
Nobody's on guard duty.
Nobody
Hears a damn thing when this guy's fall down the stairs.
So when you say guard duty, you mean like internal guard duty, not outside the house, inside the house.
Anybody on patrol? Didn't seem like they had anybody on
Look
patrol.
at outside the house. Look at Jesus was out there outside the house.
I'm watching the scene now. You're talking about it's funny because we're up to the scene where they're walking into the room where they're all sleeping, and I swear it looked like they even walked over a body to get into the room, and now the guy's falling down the stairs.
All right,
it's
so
like nobody hears that. Like, it's ridiculous.
So back in the infirmary, Tobin's breathing gets heavy. We see that he's about to something's gonna happen with him. A man goes out to get the doctor, but Tobin emerges and eats him. Dana moves in to investigate, discovers the blood on the floor, and gets bitten herself. So this starts in the infirmary, obviously. Now here's my problem. I know the falling down the stairs is probably most of your problem. We'll get to that in just one second.
Yes.
But before we get to that, didn't we establish early on in the series that if you get bit, you get this fever, right?
Right.
And the fever kind of takes a couple of days to work its way through you. In fact, we just saw with Carl less than a couple episodes ago, right? Where you got a couple of days in you at least. You got we saw with Jim against the tree, right? You got some time. You got some time to put your affairs in order, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, they say it could be a little faster than others, depending.
Well, hold on.
You still got time.
They said the reanimation time is faster. So like, okay, if you die, then the turning time varies with the patient, right? It varies with the guy, right?
Well,
But,
yeah.
but the fever always seemed to last a couple of days. Right? Even with what's his name, Bob Stuckey, tainted meat, right? He got bit, they cut off his leg, whatever. He had a couple of days to put his affairs in order, right? They all say goodbye to him. Okay.
Right.
Suddenly, they get scratched with these weapons from the hilltop, from the saviors. They're all dying within a matter of like 8 hours, and they're all turning right away, like at the same time.
You're messing with the rules. You're changing your own rules.
Don't change the rules, right? They could have been. I know it's probably delayed the story a bit, but
the thing is when they get bit, I think it takes time for the virus to cultivate and actually start spreading throughout the body and make.
And you have to actually die. You have to actually die before it becomes a zombie, right?
But the fever is what kills you. It's like a very hot fever. That was what described it.
Right, but it won't kill you in an hour, overnight.
No.
It'll kill you in like 4 hours. Like,
Right.
But
No,
when you're
it'll kill you
injected
over
with tainted blood and viscera and all of that, the virus is alive and well, so it doesn't have to take as long to spread throughout your body. Plus, like with Tobin, he was sliced right over his chest, and to me, when he died, it looked like he had a heart attack, not just the fever. So I'm wondering if like the nastiness of the virus just killed him quicker by getting his heart.
So what you're saying is they're changing the rules, and if you get sliced with a weapon that's been doused in guts, you get the fast track to death. You don't get the whole fever thing. You just kind of go right to dying within hours. That's what happens.
I think you still got the fever and stuff, but
Yeah,
the only justification I found with it is there's a difference between getting bit and having a very large open wound infected and it spreading that way. And I guess like originally I kind of changed my tune a little bit on this because the last time we talked about this, I was like, well, they spread themselves in guts and they probably got it in their eyes or their mouth or something. But I think the thing with this is just the fact that the emphasis is on it being a large wound. Like this isn't just in deep. Like this isn't just superficial. Just like being around. I guess just like being around somebody with a cold, right? I mean, it doesn't mean you're gonna get it, but Jackass turns around and sneezes right in your face. Odds are not very good in your favor that you're gonna be able to beat that out. So, so I just took it as okay. He had this serious injury, probably lost a lot of blood, was weak to begin with, and then he gets add this infectious material that Two, the weapons they had dipped in whatever blood or guts or whatever. I mean, they did that a while back. So like this stuff has been like festering for almost 24 hours at this point. So God knows what kind of like bacteria, viral nastiness.
Was they bring buckets like Negan had, like dip them in? Like,
yeah, but that was the previous day. I mean, that was
it's hot outside.
Yeah, so
not did they dip them in? We didn't see it, but did they dip them in the buckets maybe before they went into the hilltop? So
that's fresh. Yeah, before they left. I don't know if they did it right before.
Right before they entered the hilltop. Yeah,
they were prepping it before they left. Wherever
that was at the sanctuary, right? I was saying maybe they brought buckets and they dipped them in fresh.
They did bring buckets because Negan had one of the buckets.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Right,
yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at is if the original dousing of the weapons, so to speak, happened almost a day ago. All that, I mean, think about a dead body and 24 hours later what that smells like, right? So you've got all this nastiness on your weapons, and it's been that way for 24 hours. It's whatever. It's not less infectious after that period of time. It's definitely more infectious.
Okay, all right. So I don't know.
I guess that didn't bother me because it seems like in the course of the show they've always played a little fast and loose with how long it takes people to die, how long it takes people to turn. That's not anything new to me. Like they've always kind of it's just been whatever kind of suits the story, and I've just kind of learned to live with it.
I think they were pretty consistent though with the bite, fever, die thing. Like but the fever was always you had time to put your affairs in order. It wasn't as quick.
We've seen people die from
the flu, the prison. That was the flu that killed them. It wasn't the bite though. Remember that?
Getting bit, but we've seen people get like bit in the shoulder and then they're dead and they turn. We've seen somewhat rapidly. We've seen, where we've seen people die from things that we've seen them die quickly from things that you would think would like shot in the gut or whatever, and it's like boom, he's dead. Now they're reanimating quickly, right? They come back.
It's
like you probably would take a day or so to maybe bleed out. From
I see what you're saying. So it's not just dying from the fever that they play with the time with. It's dying in general. They play with the times of like that.
Yeah, and then like I said, and then when it actually comes to how long it takes to like we saw what with Amy, like she died the night before, and then
right, there are 6-8 hours to turn into right.
And sometimes these people die, and 2 minutes later they're turned. So it's like I said, to me, they've always kind of played a little fast and loose with that, and that's just the consistency is that there's no consistency, right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing to remember too is it's a virus, and it's been a few years now. I don't know exactly what the timeline is since the world ended, but it's been at least
2.5, 3.
Okay, viruses mutate, so I mean it could change over time too.
Oh, sure. I mean, they'll never want to get into that. I mean,
I hear a lot of excuses here for inconsistency in the writing.
Yeah.
No offense to any of you guys, and everything you're saying it could be totally true and everything, but it just seems very inconsistent from case to case.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I guess it sounds silly, but that's kind of why I give it a pass is because it's always inconsistent.
Right. It's consistently inconsistent.
Exactly.
Well, it's like skill set too. Like they mess with them. Like they're totally amateurs. Like they can do all the stuff that they did. They're getting them the plan, getting them down. They're superheroes when they fight, right? But then did not have anybody be awake to like do guard duty when you know that they're still right outside somewhere.
Well, again, you're saying guard. I mean, there was nobody awake inside the house. There was Jesus was out there. There was people out there outside the house, not inside.
But you would think so.
Nobody that saw Henry sitting across the parking area or
right.
Any of that.
You think they would leave like, well, somebody should be up just in case for the injured because of that problem. Like you never know If somebody passes,
somebody's in like the third story window looking out to get a better vantage point, and I'm sorry, of all those people, law of averages says you're gonna hit one person that's a light sleeper. I don't care what you say. Like if that was me, like somebody creaks, a board on the stairs, and I'm up. Like I am the world's lightest.
So
sleeper.
if you were sitting on the floor,
somebody goes flying down the stairs,
right?
Especially in this world. I mean, and the people in the military tell you all the time, like they might have been heavy sleepers when they're civilians, but once you're in a situation where you're always under fire, you will train yourself to be awake at a moment's notice. It's just the way your body adapts.
Yeah.
So there's just no way that you would just sit there and let people walk by. Big dudes walking. The floors are like wooden floors. They make noises. Like it's no way that they're not gonna make any.
And you
want
to have a contingent of people up and ready because you don't know are they coming back? Are they going to storm the castle? What's going on? You can't have
sleep time. Nap time. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Everybody don't get nap time.
they all went to nap time together, and the guy tumbled downstairs.
This isn't the Latham house after Thanksgiving dinner for God's sake. Like
Sweatpants are all full. They're all knocked out.
All I know is ever since I became a parent of small children, I hear one noise, it wakes me up. You know what I mean? And if I'm in a freaking zombie apocalypse where I know that like the saviors or zombies are going to come for me any second, I'd wake up on a dime drop. And I'm with you, Russ. So it's quite true.
Obviously, it started in the infirmary. Then the guy turns up in the Barrington house. He falls down the stairs, wakes nobody. Yeah, it was pretty good fall too.
I want somebody to do a YouTube sketch of just the zombies doing everything, like cooking, doing all the falling
downstairs. Right, yeah.
All like there's just so much time for them to do whatever they want. Like,
or just take this whole scene and just underlay the Benny Hill theme song under it. Perfect.
I think they played spades for a minute. They're just doing whatever they wanted to do. I'm like, are these people dead on the floor?
They didn't move at all. They didn't move one bit. The guy fell down.
No.
The sleeping dead.
This was another favorite part of my texting with Craig last night too. Was right here. So I said also him falling down the stairs wakes no one up. Craig says, "Yeah, my girl said the same."
And then he slid across the
floor.
Yeah, she got pissed at that point. You're right. I was sitting watching with my girl, and she's like, "What?" The guy fell down the stairs. What? Nobody woke up?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, it was." Yeah.
He says, "Yeah, my girl said the same thing," and I said, "And by your girl, you mean the inflatable bop bag with a pic of Lauren Cohen picture?"
No, I have a real. She's a real breathing female. Okay,
sir,
yes.
your response was yes. How did you know?
I detected a whiff of jealousy here.
I think I do.
I mean, we've been together for like 12 years. She's pretty real. Last time I checked, and we make sure every time it's Walking Dead, she listens to the show too. So hey, baby, we watch it together. She can make it. She'll come by. We watch it together. That's it.
Ain't no wrong with that.
That's what we do. You guys snuggle, watch The Walking Dead. That's how it goes.
I think Chuck threw some shade right there. I want a little shorty I can watch it with. I want a shorty I can watch it with.
You'll find out there, Seattle, baby. You'll find out there.
Call it baby.
That's it.
Shorty.
But she gets pissed. That's the she's a big Negan fan. So it's like,
of course.
And I'm more Rick than Negan. If Negan falls and gets killed tomorrow, I couldn't be happier, right? I'm more about Rick and him winning, and so we kind of had that whole thing going. And so I'm rooting for Rick, and she's rooting for Negan. Last week it was pretty funny when they're fighting in the basement. But anywho, so Henry approaches Gregory in the prison. Gregory kind of wakes him up with the muzzle of a gun. Gregory begs to let him out, but Henry wants to know who killed his brother. Who killed my brother? Gregory tries to reason with Henry and get the gun from him, and says that killing whoever killed Benjamin will make Henry feel better. It won't make him feel better. Alden steps up as Henry threatens to kill people until he finds out. He promises it won't make him feel better, of course. Suddenly, screams ring out from the house. Inside, Maggie sees people getting eaten by walkers. Daryl rushes in to help people. Ezekiel's there too. Sadiq rushes in, tries to stop blood flow as Rick chops off an arm. And that was pretty cool. Rick just happened to be coming by at that moment through all the mayhem. He sees the bit arm. Sadiq holds it down. He goes, "Rick, I need your help." He goes, "I got it." Takes the hatchet and just does a little pulls a Herschel on him. Shonen Jesus put walkers down inside, so all the main characters.
Yeah, Jesus does a kick. He
did that Bruce Lee cross kick.
And she stabs him in the head with the sword. That's pretty
best zombie kill of the episode.
Yeah.
He just held him there with a kick. It was like a restraining move. It was great. Yeah, it was pretty funny. They flee from the house, and Jared watches everyone flee from the house. Jared's one of the prisoners. Henry enters the prison. Again, who knows how he got the key? I mean, he's definitely following in Carl's footsteps here. Young Carl, it is. But he enters the prison and demands they reveal themselves before he starts shooting.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen here.
Yes.
A savior has now become a walker and starts attacking the prisoners from inside. Jared tackles Henry and leads everyone out, grabs the gun, obviously. Gregory thinks about helping Henry, but runs and leaves him behind. So Henry's left in the pen. All the saviors are now out because he opened the door for them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
That is some of the laziest effing writing I've seen.
Exactly.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to if you didn't, my brother.
I was like, what the hell?
And they've done this before. They go to this well so many times.
It's so like they could have. I don't know. There's 1,000 ways they could have done it to where the sanctuary people escaped. I mean, they could have been secretly, filing away at the fence. They could have. I mean, I don't know. There's whatever. They could have, just decided, okay, they had enough, everybody's asleep, whatever. But for the kid, like, first of all, why is this kid so? Why would he's 10, right? So if Morgan and them told him, no, you kill, he's the one that killed your brother. He's been taken care of. Why would this kid not believe them and be so convinced? Did I miss something as to why?
Because I don't feel that Morgan was that convincing when he told him that.
This kid's 10.
Yeah, I know.
You're missing you have to be to a 10-year-old.
Yeah, like how the hell would he know the difference between if he was the killer of his brother or not? Like there'd be no idea. Like he had no idea who killed him.
And I'm sorry, but there's no way this 10-year-old kid is, even at 10, you're smart enough to know that you're not going to open a gate in front of okay, you got a weapon, sure, but it's full of full-size grown adults.
Right, they'll rush you. Yeah.
Why would you have to open the gate when you don't?
Well, that's the other thing.
Right
there. Fire right through the chicken wire, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing I thought too.
Like, why would you have to go inside? It made no sense whatsoever.
It's almost like they said, okay, we need the sanctuary people to get out. So how are we going to do this? Okay, we'll have the kid do it. Why would the kid do it? Oh,
yeah, it's very lazy.
It's almost like this reverse logic.
Well, they need two things. They need to know exactly. They need to up their numbers again to replace people that died, right? So they can kind of play with the numbers a little bit because some of them stayed. The ones that were pushing the gate closed.
Right, some of them stayed.
Again, you don't need the kid to do that. Like,
no, you didn't. But that's the laziness of getting those two things done quickly. Is to get the saviors that are going to change sides and fight for Hilltop, and get the ones out of there that are going to go back to the saviors.
Was I the only one that rolled his eyes or her eyes when to start all this crap off? They focus on the fact that it's a full moon that night, and all this weird crap starts happening. I'm like, seriously.
Yeah,
Right,
they
right.
thought it was cute. They thought it was like, oh, this is
holy
great.
cow.
This is nuance. We're going to set up some nuance in our
And
show.
to take on to Russ's lazy writing comment, they could have still done it lazily and still made sense in the fact that that's not like it's some iron and concrete pen that was built. If there's enough chaos going on, they could rush that chicken wire and break down.
Oh, of course they could have.
So instead of doing the stupid thing with Child of the Corn Henry or whatever, just have during the chaos going on of the dead rising, the wounded that died rising, they just rush the gate and get out of there, and still split them up. The people that want to stay. Everything else, stupid writing with that.
You're right, because once the zombie came out of the group in the cages, they could just that's the chaos right there to make them just get the hell out of there. But you know that the other thing they want to probably do that's lazy is we need Morgan to go crazy again.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna probably kill this kid and have Morgan just go completely make him go bad crazy, and now he'll be ready to go off to the other show because he'll have that guilt because all of a sudden, even though it's not his fault. I don't even know how it's his fault. Like, I don't even know how this child. It is his fault that this child's brother got killed, and the boy wants vengeance.
Well, I think the guilt is coming from he taught Henry how to use the pike, and he used it to kill Gavin. Which
but he taught a lot. I'm sure they had to train a lot of them to fight.
Well, I think,
but Morgan taught the kid himself.
Well, part of it is going to be the fact that they lied to the kid, right? Like that. It's kind of all of the above. It's like they taught him how to fight. He kind of encouraged it, and then they lied to him, which kind of set him on this path. Where I don't buy it. I think Morgan's going to be sane again by the time he goes to Fear. I don't think he's going to be crazy Morgan on Fear. That's just my I have no.
Can you imagine him dealing with Madison? That's it.
Or I have to walk away.
Stay with my kids. You're crazy.
Or I have to, I know. Or I have to walk away from this life. I have to move on.
Nick.
I can't be in civilized world right now.
Yeah.
Nick, this guy from Georgia, he's crazy. He's crazy.
Right.
Stay away from him.
Craig, you're my podcasting bro. That's the worst Madison.
Don't listen to him, Craig. Don't listen to him at all. It was like I was envisioning her right in my mind.
She says that. She goes, Nick.
Chubb, we gonna have to get your girlfriend if you think that's a good voice of her.
Hey, Chubb.
5 points for Griffith on that.
Oh no.
So upstairs, Tobin tries to eat someone else and says, actually, I'll say it again. Tobin makes a hell of a walker. He's a big dude.
Tobin got a lot of food. Man.
He's like aggressive. He was throwing his whole weight on these people.
He ate. Yeah, he was like a vampire. Like,
Seriously.
Them and hold them down, and then he would eat.
He was a great walker. He may be the best one I've seen in a long time. He was strong.
Yeah,
he had strength to him.
He was dangerous.
Yeah.
He was dangerous.
So Tobin tries to eat. He's like 3 or 4 people at least. Carol rushes in and sees Tobin, pulls him off somebody else, and puts him down with her knife, of course. Daryl, Maggie, and Rick rush in, and what do they say? He wasn't bit, but he turned.
Right.
Yeah. Rick realizes.
Put the clues together.
Rick goes to work.
You weren't bit, but he turned. Rick realizes Negan's bat was covered in walker blood, and he's using walker guts to make them kill their own. So he puts 2 and 2 together, like you said. The Hilltopper in bed realizes he's infected by the wound on his arm. He's like, I can't do it. What happened to him? Did somebody kill him? We didn't see what happened to him.
I think it was just kind of implied.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Carol just went in with a knife and took him out? Yeah.
Probably.
Later, Tara sits on a bed surrounded by Enid, Rosita, and others. Rick and Daryl enter. Tara questions how this happened, and then again they say the Saviors did something to the weapons. Everyone they cut up got shot. They all turned. They realize that this means Tara will die too. But again, we're not really sure. When we were out there, you said you were done waiting. I could have killed him. Daryl says I should have. He wanted to be here. Tara insists again. She's defending Dwight again. Outside, Sadiq wrestles with walkers. Alden rescues him. Maggie finds him and learns that the Saviors are trying to escape. Alden insists that he stayed for a reason, despite having plenty of chances to run. He's like, look, I want to be with you guys. They all left. They ran. I stayed here. A couple other people stayed here. He wants to really be a Hilltopper bad. He don't want to be a Savior anymore.
Look, my hair is clean. I got shampoo.
I know. He looks like he washed up some.
Yeah, I'm a good guy. What are you guys?
The next day, Carol and Ezekiel search for Henry. The kid is missing. Enid comes in to tell everyone that Henry broke into the pen before escaping. Everyone rushes to find him, but Morgan stays behind. Hearing from Gavin once again. This is, and Jim, what does he say?
You know what it is.
And he gets a little loud too at the end, right? He kind of starts screaming it.
You know what it is. Can you dig it?
Oh yeah. The Macho Man.
Oh,
yeah.
It goes to the Macho Man.
But seriously though, I don't know what it is. So tell me, seriously though.
Space is the place.
You know what it is. You know what it is.
Oh, come on.
No, you know.
The queen will rise to the top. You know
I'll
what
never know
it
what it is. I'll never know what it is.
You know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's a cheesemaker. It's a cheesemaker friend.
But I know. You know what it is.
Later.
You do on a road trip. That's some shit you do on a road trip. You try to get on each other's nerves. You know when you really start effing with each other when you're on a road trip with your buddy. And you're like, you know what it is.
Are we there yet? You know what it is.
It's the new. That's what she said.
That's what she said. From the office. That's funny. You know what it is.
You know what it is.
Later, Maggie watches Jerry and Jesus bury more bodies. Maggie has remorse for luring the Saviors here in an effort to kill Negan. Rick walks away as everyone stands near the much larger graveyard. I think that's the end of the episode. That's it.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
says the cost.
The cost. Yeah, the cost.
Yeah, and then they show all the graves.
The graves. Then the fresh ones. Because it was like 4 or 5 there before. Now there's.
I think there was like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Total.
So
something
they
like
lost about
that.
10, right? Then you said the Saviors lost more. He lost like 20.
Yeah, at least. I think
Okay.
it's close to 30.
And then you hear in the background a faint, you know what it is. And somebody says, shut up.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. God dang it.
That's pretty funny. So before we get to our Buster ratings, we actually have Aaron, who didn't join us this evening. He actually did a review for, not only he gave us his Buster rating, but he also gave us his review on #Red Machete, brought to you by Taco Bell #LiveMoss. So actually, if we can read that first, then we'll do the Busters. Then we can do your response and then the Busters. Jim, do you have his
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Okay, great. You want to read the Red Machete part?
Sure. You want to read the whole thing?
No, just read the Red Machete, and then we'll do his Buster.
Okay.
How's that?
Sure. Cool. Yes. This week's Walking Dead Presents #Red Machete, presented by Taco Bell #LiveMoss, was another game-changing episode of The Walking Dead Presents #Red Machete, presented by Taco Bell #LiveMoss. It would, after all this time, that the Red Machete has returned to a member of the original group. Held on to it. What does this all mean for Walking Dead Presents #Red Machete, presented by Taco Bell #LiveMoss timeline? Well, I'm not sure. But maybe we'll get even more of a crossover than the full-length shows can provide. We'll see.
Was that your Shatner impression? Like, were you trying to emphasize it a little bit, or what was that?
No, I'm just trying to give the importance of The Walking Dead Presents #Red Machete, presented by Taco Bell #LiveMoss, #LiveMoss, the prominence it is due.
Thank you.
He must like practice that for like 20 minutes every time the show starts. It's way too smooth. Like it's way too smooth.
This is Aaron.
His
He's
girlfriend
clicking his
tries to tell
tongue.
him to shut up.
He's channeling his
Well, that is professional photographer takes pictures of him as he does
Well,
Facebook
Stephen
expressions.
Yeun,
Yeah, and so he really practices. He does the whole thing. He does.
And he's channeling his inner Billy D.
We haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah. Well, when Fear comes back.
That's true. Yeah, because that's Strand, right? Strand is this.
Strand.
That's true. He's a scoundrel. Dramatic ass mind. All right. Well, thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. So let's get a quick word from our sponsor. Whoever take that away, Russ, maybe or
Okay. Our sponsor for this episode of the Walking Dead TV podcast is DCBService.com and InStockTrades.com. The end of the month is nearing, so you can head over to DCBService.com and get in before the month changes into April, where the new deals and the new specials and the new previews catalog comes out. So you still have a few days. They don't mind late orders, so if you're a little behind listening to this and you're like, oh wait a minute, it's April the 3rd. No fear, no pun intended. You can still get your order in. They will take it, and then you can have the joy of looking at the April orders to see what goodies are in store for there. Tons of Walking Dead stuff. The monthly comics. There's always some statues. Posters, all kinds of cool stuff. And then you can also head over to InStock Trades, where you can get all of the trade paperbacks, the compendiums, the hardcovers, the omnibuy, any way you like The Walking Dead, they have it over there. And Image loves money, so they keep those things in print, so you don't have to worry about it being out of print and not being able to get your favorite arc, because they have it all there. So at awesome prices, typically between 40 and 50% off of the cover price. And unlike Amazon, the boxes, your shipment will arrive at your doorstep, pristinely packed, and not all jacked up, so you won't have to worry about nicked corners and damaged goods.
Sealed styrofoam that holds it all in place.
Yeah, so if you're freakazoid like me and get all bent out of shape when your books have dings and dents and cracked spines and stuff like that, have no fear, because they will take good care of you. So we thank DCB Service and InStockTrades.com for their support of the Walking Dead TV podcast.
And if you hear that from Russ, you know that's
yep, that is.
You just heard the word.
Yes.
Right now on InStock Trades, if there are any other Jack Kirby fans out there on InStock Trades right now, the Fourth World Omnibus is 42% off. So I think I'm going to have to purchase that.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Thank you for the word from our sponsor. Let's get to our Buster ratings. Mr. Richard Chub Toad Sheldon, what do you give this episode?
Well, if we were looking and grading just the first 10, 15 minutes, it would be out of the park, probably 4.5. Yeah. But then I have to look at the episode as a whole and how it pretty much just teased us up to a point and then just fell apart and then just got plain stupid with lazy writing, as Russ said. And I'm giving it I want to give it less, but I'm going to give it two Busters. But it just was not. It was very disappointing. It was a great setup in the beginning and then just.
Mr. Russell Latham.
I was pretty hard on this episode overall, but there were a lot of things I did like about him. I did like overall the action. I like where the group is kind of positioned after this. I do like the fact that the infected kind of caused chaos within the ranks. I don't like necessarily the way it was done, but I think it added a kind of interesting dynamic that we knew was coming. So the two big flaws in the writing aside, I still give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, Daryl.
I will have to give it a 2.5, I guess. It did have some stuff I like to see. The battles were great, but it just felt like it wasn't a complete episode. It looked like we didn't get a full episode out of it, and some of that stuff with the kids is something they do all the time. They do too many times in The Walking Dead. It annoyed the hell out of me. So it'd have to be 2.5 Busters.
Gotcha. Jim.
Like they used to say on the old show, the facts of life, you take the good, you take the bad. There was good in this episode. There's also some stuff that just made me scratch my head. So it's kind of a wash for me. I'm going to end up giving it a 2.5.
Wow. I will give it a 3.25, and I'll explain why. The action beginning in the first quarter of the episode was really, really good. As Chubb was saying, that moved the needle quite ahead for me. There was some really good shots there. They were hard to see. He had Rick throwing an AK-47 that gave it like a quarter buster right there. Just seeing that again. There's some cool little shots, cool little stuff in this episode. But then really the problem I had was the pacing, where it was going so fast and so good. It's like, all right, and then they just slammed on the brakes and just slowed everything down. And that obviously buffoonery with the guy falling down the stairs was ridiculous. And I have a big problem with the science of getting bit and turning. I still think they were very clear about the fever time, and now they're changing that now too. So I have a problem with some of the consistency. But overall, the action and some of the little stuff put it over the top. So 3.25 for me. I'll actually read Aaron's review here too. I have it right in front of me. He says, "Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it for tonight's episode. I'm a bit busy seeing the Beard Tackle Nostalgia, the movie. Spoilers.
Ready Player One. Sorry, decode that for everybody.
Thank you. Spoilers. It was probably amazing. However, I did not have thoughts on this week's episode. Do not send us astray. Starts off pretty well and a fun action setup and battle. The show delivers on seeing different strategies to play. Mackie leads well. Simon tries to add some surprise, even if he ultimately fails. However, after this battle, everything heads to Dumbtown on the 2 o'clock train. Between the forced switch up of roles between Tara and Daryl and the more than dumb staging of the zombie attack sequence, I had to make sure I could hold on to my eyes in case they rolled out of my head during this episode. At least Henry had an excuse for stupidity. He's a dumb, messed up kid. When did the Hilltop stop having patrols in place? I guess he said the same thing you guys are. For that matter, especially the night after an attack. How is everyone sleeping so easily during the tensest time in their lives? It's a lot of weird holes like this that took away from a really gory zombie action sequence and a reminder that the zombies are a great danger. So yeah, started off well and then got dumb. 2.5 Busters. Thanks, Aaron, for phoning me. We appreciate that. I hope the Beard Tackle Nostalgia movie was pretty good. I look forward to your review on that one. All right, but who cares what we have to say? We have an amazing Facebook group. Check us out, facebook.com/, just do a search for The Walking Dead TV podcast. It's easier. Join group, and then we can get you into the group. You can leave your very own Buster ratings for The Walking Dead, Toby ratings for Fear the Walking Dead. Very lively group. A lot of fun memes and pictures submitted throughout the week. Very fun stuff there. So it's definitely a good place to check out if you're a fan of the show. You get to have your own Buster ratings read by the one and only Jim Dietz. Jim, would you take it away, please?
Also want to mention Aaron Newworth's weekly reviews of each episode of The Walking Dead pop up on our Facebook group as well. If you want to hear a little more in-depth review action, he writes for WeLiveEntertainment.com every week. He does an in-depth review of each episode of The Walking Dead, so you might want to check that out as well. Plus, a little side note, with the little thing they did with The Walking Dead and the Terror by misleading us with our TV guides and whatnot, if you remember the Walking Dead Facebook group, you would have known about that ahead of time. You wouldn't have been thinking it was a 2-hour episode because we spread the word. Our people jumped right on that like a duck on a gin bug. So another good reason to join our Facebook group. We start this week with Brent Jones. 3 misleading TV guides out of 5. Hey, speak of the devil. Daryl Super Machine Gun Motorcycle mods aside, what a letdown.
That's right.
All this build up to a fight at the Hilltop, and that's what it was. Why didn't they have a crew to fight the Saviors like they've done every single other pre-planned battle? I did enjoy the episode, but the hype of the battle at Hilltop combined with the fake out of the guy saying it was a 2-hour show was a letdown. Does that make sense? That's that last week where 40% of the series is revolved around the Saviors is fascinating. No wonder we're also ready for it to conclude. Jenny Cox, 1 out of 5 Busters. Ouch. So I'm no expert, but the entire thing fell thrown together. So now they have to worry about infections. How has that never been an issue before? I've been a loyal fan, but I have to start watching American Idol, and I can't stand Ryan Seacrest. Whoa, that's pretty brutal. Kevin Berry, 4 AMC has been promoting a 1-hour premiere of The Terror for a few weeks. If anything, everyone should be happy because they did not give us an extra long episode filled with the potential love triangle filler between Carol Tobin and the King before he turned and ruined a perfectly good nap everyone deserved after defending the hilltop. Out of 5. That's all one thing there. So I like the opening battle and enjoyed this episode outside of another annoying kid making another stupid decision. Maybe that's why they got rid of Carl. They have a different kid now to make the bad moves. Charlie Messing, I'm giving this one the Buster rating of a 2. With everything that happened in this episode, it could have really been great, but everyone all sad and moping around dragged down the episode. Maggie, Carol, Rick, little blank stain looking for his brother's killer, and poor Morgan going nuts again. It was just too much of that. Even I was moping around by every time someone said how great a leader Maggie is, while knowing that AMC is just going to let her walk away. Just go it for me. Oh, F it. 1 Buster. No, make it a 1 Toby rating.
That's wow.
Oh, wow.
We changed scales going to the Toby ratings. Is that what we're doing?
Bringing it to Toby's. Oh, man.
They are lesser than the Busters. Fear is lesser than the proper.
It's got a curve. It's got a bell curve.
That may be changing now, though. It might be changing where Fear is actually better.
That's true. You're right. That could be, yeah.
We'll have to see. Susan Monk, 2.6 night shift guards taking the night off out of 5. Exactly, Susan. Oh, wow. There's some really sound sleepers not to notice all that Walker noise close by. Henry needs to go look at the flowers with Carol. Of course, Carol had to be the one to take out Walker Tobin. Tara hasn't shown any signs of infection yet, so she may be okay. Cheryl Morse Goodman, weird marketing aside, I have 2 Buster ratings for the show. For the first half, I give a 4.5 lunch lady turned nurses out of 5. I really liked the battle. I thought it was interesting and well orchestrated, dramatic, and exciting. The second half of the episode, however, I give it a 3. 2 soundly sleeping hilltoppers out of 5. Who doesn't shut the door or post guards after an extremely violent shootout? Did no one hear the guy falling down the stairs? I know y'all are tired, but damn, too many damn questions. Mike Jones, 4 10 penny towers out of 5. Oh, nice Fallout reference there, dude. I really enjoyed the carnage, but no Negan was a bummer. I think the show was stronger staying near the source material, Dodge truck in the opening scene.
Yeah, maybe.
But ram tough. 4 1-800 quick Rick with cutting off limbs to save lives out of 5. Oh, they didn't right. I only wish they showed what was going on with Negan. Lots of storylines connected finally. Tara and the Gov, she brought it up. Totally know who the savior is who helps Maggie now, and I'm fine with it. I like him. A great episode. I want to keep talking, but Jim's probably tired of reading me. Not at all, Johnny. You're fine right now. Can't wait to hear from you guys, and more important, super excited about the HHWLOD Americans cast. All right, cool, dude. Michael Santana, 2.5 ex-boyfriend turned zombies out of 5. Pretty good the first half of the episode with some action actually resembling war. I still don't buy that a few walkers would go rampaging through a house full of post-apocalyptic survivors like that, but whatever. Ian Roswell, 4.25 all you can eat buffet out of 5. Almost spot on episode. Yeah, man, he's a growing boy. Not anymore though. Enjoyed the battles, enjoyed Mito character development, enjoyed the last words of Tobin, which condemned him. Didn't enjoy winging Rick. Are we back to the whole who killed my brother rubbish again? And Tara's U-turn. I'm really surprised she isn't dizzy by all this turning. Mary Chuck Pecky, I give the first 15 minutes a solid 5 Busters. After that, well, I'm floating between a 2 and 2.5. The plan to fight the survivors was excellent. Or the saviors, I think is what you meant.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think Simon and Dwight would die. It was still exciting to watch, and then all went to hell. No guards or lookouts after being attacked by the saviors. Did I miss something? Wasn't it the last episode with Tara being, oh, you can't switch sides, and now she's okay with Dwight? And yes, I think she was saved again by him with a clean arrow. Poor Tobin, I knew his days were numbered.
Yeah.
Joe Jans brings up a good point here. Who the hell trained this hilltop how to shoot? Stormtroopers from Star Wars?
Exactly.
The lights came on and no one died? Ugh. I'll give it a 1.5. Alpinder Sang Ha wrote in 1 stupid kid out of 5. My first Buster for 8B. Worst episode by far. Bad writing leading to stupid decisions being made. Maybe the fear factor is key here too. Revamp the whole GD show. P.S. Who cares about the extras being killed? I have 0 feelings for the season. This is a major turnoff. But then he puts in the gift when I thought I was out. They pulled me back in. From The Godfather. So Scott Holman 3.5 out of 5. I like the overall plot of this episode, but I thought a lot of little things could have been handled better. And then finally, Dre Irvin wrote in with this post did not appear for me until this morning, so I'll just say this: Sadiq is fine. I'll got the vibes in there for you. And Susan Monk seems to agree with the gift that she posted. Richard Chopper Cherry Charrington 4. Will Maggie tell that kid to look at the flowers already? Out of 5. Reading the comments above, there doesn't seem to be much love for this episode. I really enjoyed it. For me, it's one of the best of the season. My only gripe is Rick is a rubbish shot. The amount of times he's had chances to kill Sounder, Negan, and missed. Looking forward to next week. Rob Cook wrote in with 4 hopeful Busters out of 5. As I haven't watched the episode yet, but I want to get my vote in. I'm in for the ride, watching it now whilst Hardwick is on. And let's get through it together, guys. That's right.
Did we get through it together? Did we do it?
We got to get through it together.
That's right. What happened?
Gail Tidwell, 3 ambient out of 5. The battle was fine, but the next night it looked like our folks were too stupid to live. The night after a major attack by the saviors, everybody just passed out. Why are they keeping the key to the prisoner's yard right next to the AK Henry had? A walker fell down 800 steps and nobody woke up? Come on. Carolyn Sadiq knew Henry was a little psycho, and none of them thought to tie his little crazy ass up. Why is Sadiq preaching every freaking week? Is there a time and place for everything? And Sadiq, now ain't the time. Zip it. Sadly, the wrong doctor died last night. And finally, David, that's cruel, man. That's cold. David B. III wrote in 3 out of 5 digging graves and BMX full body protective gear redux. What a change each episode makes when Jeffrey January directs instead of Greg Nicotero. It was going pretty great actually up until they redid the prison sickness episode again, especially when the walker falls down the stairs and not a single person heard his Chevy Chase slapstick stair falling comedy routine. Had that been written differently, I would have likely given this episode 1 more point. The moment Carol had with Undead Tobin also didn't sit well with me since I was never able to connect with this character. However, I do look forward to understanding where they're going with Sadiq and Jadis. P.S. My biologist wife reminded me in last week's episode that they should be able to make a vaccine from Father Gabe if he truly recovered from his infection. Plus, there's got to be more doctors in the Metro DC area if Sadiq doesn't work out, or if other infected survivors exist elsewhere. Could be a spin-off called The Last Ship. I had an idea about a pilot episode. Send that along. So thank you all for writing in. We only have a few more episodes left. By all means, join the Facebook group, and you too can let us know how you feel about each episode with the Buster ratings.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim, for doing that as always. All right, guys. Any final thoughts on this night's episode?
No. I mean, no, not really. I just realized that I was disappointed and forgot to mention that I was really looking forward to seeing Jadis and Negan after last week's episode, but not surprised that they're holding that off.
Did you see the preview, though? Did you see the sneak preview?
No, because I wasn't going to sit through till the first commercial of The Terror.
It's crazy. Well, there's a preview and there's a sneak preview, and the sneak preview is like nuts. You'll see it. I'm sure it's on YouTube or something. You can watch it, but it's.
I'll go look for it.
Yeah, I think you won't be disappointed next week if you want. If that's what you want to see. I think you're gonna get it next week.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Like I said, this was a mixed bag, but overall we're getting somewhere. We don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere. We got another 3 episodes to go for this season.
And we're going to get there together.
Do it together.
Do it together.
We're going to do it together.
We've already won.
You know what it is.
We get through this. We're all here. We're all in this together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we're all here.
I know.
I've got Carl's letters right here in my hand.
They're on the table. They're on the little coffee table now. He's down there.
Let's read it together as a group. We're going to read it through this.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's wrap it up together. So when our listeners can't hear us talking zombies, or we're not talking zombies, where can they listen to us? Well, there are other broadcasts. Richard, what about you? What are we doing nowadays?
You can hear me with Daryl and Jim and our buddy Jerry as we discuss DC television shows each week. The CW stuff, Gotham. Looks like we're going to start talking about Krypton. I don't know if we'll keep talking about Krypton.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It probably wasn't bad.
So far.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
What network is it on? Is it on like
Sci-Fi.
Oh, Sci-Fi. Okay.
Yep. Yep. So you can hear me on there. You can catch me on the Twittergrams at Chubtoad01.
Excellent. Russell.
Just tune into hhwled.com. We should have, hopefully, an It's All Connected episode coming out soon. There's been some developments news-wise today that'll be fun to talk about, and we got to get caught up on Jessica Jones Season 2 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And stay tuned to the feed. So later this week, Jim and I should be recording an episode on the season premiere of The Americans. And so we'll just pop this up on this feed, and the master feed. Aaron should be joining us. It was kind of his idea, so he'll be joining us starting next week. He's got Hollywood stuff this week.
Yeah, the money had the money bed. It's hard to pull that down and do podcasting. It's a lot to juggle. All right, great. Daryl.
You can just you can catch me on Twitter at the Voice123 and see other podcasts that are on the network, or just go to Taylor Network on iTunes or Google or Stitcher Radio, and all the podcasts that are on the network are available. Some are with Russ, some are with Jim, and they're all great.
That's great, Jim.
As you mentioned, DC TV podcast. I'm on Nothing's On every week with Daryl and Donnie. We just dropped a new episode today, actually, more of a general TV and movie podcast. In addition to the Americans podcast that you mentioned, also Heavy Gigs in Seaside City, also on the Taylor Network, and Paradigm Shift, another actual play Pathfinder show. And you can follow me on Twitter at Yoda Jones.
Excellent. I'm not talking zombies with you guys. I'm talking about cars with my co-host Eddie on the Auto Chat Show. AutoChatShow.com, Facebook.com/AutoChat Show. We review new cars, discuss cars, and really just anything automobile related. It's been a lot of new car reviews. We just recently did the Toyota Highlander. We got the Jacob Javits Show coming up this week, so we should do a special broadcast just from that, the New York International Auto Show. So got a couple of interviews lined up from that, and just it's usually a pretty good one. We usually have a pretty decent wrap-up show after that. And we got several new car reviews, including the Lexus RCF, among a few others. So if you're into that, stay tuned. A lot of new cars coming up. All right, folks. So who wants to close it out tonight? I think Jim did.
I got it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, you got it, Jim?
No, I think
No,
say what he was going to say. Right, yeah.
All right. So when there's no more room in hell and the dead walk the earth, remember, find you a girl that'll save you the last turnip.
Wow.
You know what it is.
Thank you. I was waiting for it, Jim. That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
Sorry, dang it, Jim. I don't know.
Damn it, Jim.
Your name is Jim.
Ship out of danger.
Ship out of danger. Yeah, that's
That was just on yesterday.
Which one? 3?
Yeah, two. Just on yesterday.
Well, 3. 3 is where your name is Jim, right? Because memory back.
Oh, ship out.
They should have danger.
Oh, that was. Well, he said it both. Okay, all right, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. True.
Yeah, that's it.
That is true.